from SCAD, I immediately went to Arsutoria Shoe School to learn how to make shoes. And after I went to Arsutoria, I lived in Milan, Italy for 1 year, learning how to make shoes. I realized that women's shoes were made for the stand at Saks Fifth Avenue, not necessarily for women's feet. And that's why women's shoes are more uncomfortable than their male counterparts. So in 2019, I launched Nori Shoes. Everything was going super great. We launched in September of 2019. We had $78,000 in sales that first year. In 2020, I left to go to Italy to design my 2021 collection. And when I came back, COVID had stopped the entire world. So after I spent a couple weeks, not years, feeling sorry for myself, I had always had this concept of creating military grade combat boots size for the female foot, because my military grade combat boots never fitted my feet. But back to my background, we were featured in the Forbes magazine in 2019, and we were also accepted to several accelerators and incubators. We've been doing really well. And then we got $200,000 worth of purchase orders in February of 2020. We lost that because of COVID. We haven't been able to get it back, but we are working diligently on it. So Equal Footing has had great traction. I'm going to get there after a couple extra slides. I'll continue to admit these folks.
I'll do it. I can see them now, so I'll do them. Thank you, though.
No problem. So this is the next slide. So the female foot is not simply a scaled down version of the male foot. There are specific differences. We have our big toe is more shallow. The inside line is more curved. Of course, the arch is higher and the foot is smaller because we have a smaller body size. And then the outside length of the foot is shorter. And so this is our solution. So this is our prototype number 1. We have a patent pending on the prototype, and our prototype meets every OSHA and military DoD footwear requirements, more specifically AR 670-1. And this is our prototype number 2. This is actually the most popular version. And again, they meet all OSHA and AR 670-1 DoD boot requirements. So this is my team. I have an awesome team. Of course, most of my team is a carryover from my luxury shoe brand, but we get things done as a small, efficient team. And these are our competitors. So the real difference between the competitors and Equal Footing is we use the female foot last to design the shoe, and our competitors do not. Our competitors manually grade the size of the shoe and just change it. There's no technical expertise as far as using the female foot last, measuring why a female foot is smaller, take into account blistering and lower extremity injuries. That's the difference between Equal Footing and the competitors, the big boys. So what traction have we had? Vibram is a world-renowned outsole company, and they've decided to partner with us and provide outsoles. We are talking to Cintas to put our boots on the Cintas website. A year ago, we had an MOU with West Point to provide 192 pair of boots as a beta test to their freshman class. But because of COVID, that was not a priority. That is still an open issue. And we've also received letters of support from Senator Mickey Sherrill, Joni Ernst, and Tammy Duckworth. And this is our capability statement. We are a certified veteran, woman, minority-owned business. I've been with Novova, I think 2 to 3 years, I think. These are our certifications. This is our DUNS number. And our core competencies are focused on footwear and footwear design. We've also in the past made a prosthetics specifically for the female foot. So if any customer out there is looking for that, we have that capability as well. So again, my name is Natasha Nori Standard. This is my contact information. I'll also put my contact information in the LinkedIn, in the Zoom chat. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them at this time.
Great job, Natasha. I don't know if I have any questions in here yet, but I wondered if you would also talk a minute about your luxury shoe line in addition.
Okay, sure. So I design and manufacture affordable luxury shoes made in Italy. The best in the world to make luxury shoes and to make shoes that are, I call them more wearable and walkable for women. And what makes my luxury shoes different than what's on the market is, number one, I will never design a shoe that is 4 inches high or higher. All of my shoes, all my heels are 3.75 inches high. Why is that important? So my team and I, we conducted a beta test from 4.0 inches, 3.0, 3.9, 3.8, 3.7. And we found that a 3.75 inch heel has the same aesthetic appeal as a 4-inch heel minus the pain. So that's what make our shoe. I'm never going to design a shoe that's higher than 3.75 inches high, the heel. And then all of the materials are made of leather and beautiful, adorned Italian materials. And why is that important? Because leather molds to your feet. Man-made leather does not. Man-made leather causes blisters. And that's why I'll never use man-made leather, and I'll never use mediocre materials. And the name of the shoe line is, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you.
And we have 3-day delivery, so we don't have any supply chain issues if you buy some shoes from the website.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Hey, you do have a question here from Sibia. Are you associated with Tyndale? Tyndale? I don't know what that is.
Can they tell us what it is? It might jog my memory.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you unmute yourself, Sibia?
Sure. Hi,
Thank
Sibia
you.
Masonatis with APS. So Tyndale, Natasha, great presentation, and I'm really interested in the boots. We have, as an electric utility, one of our standards whenever anybody goes to one of our sites, even our warehouses, they have to wear steel-toed boots. So we do have a lot of, and our female employee population is about 50% of the workforce at APS. So we definitely have a lot of women who need good boots that fit. Tyndale is a company that we use at APS that provides a lot of our safety products and shirts that are FR, so fire retardant. So and they're a company like Cintas, and that's why I was asking if you had an association with them. But if you, that's okay. But I was just wondering if you did, because we currently have a contract with them, and I would love for them to be able to offer your products as part of, you know, of their product offerings for APS.
Oh, absolutely. So I don't have any knowledge of Tyndale, but I do know that one thing I do know is that 50% is a huge population. Most companies, they're women that require this type of footwear is usually like 10 to 15 to 20%, like the Department of Defense. So we're working with the Department of Defense because they have a whole initiative. They call it Female Fitment Initiative. So that all of the equipment that military service members wear, women are fitted for their actual bodies. Because when I was in the service, I would, you know, I'm 5'4". I would have a rucksack that didn't fit. I would have uniforms that I would have tailored to fit to my body. And now they're having, you know, breastfeeding t-shirts and stuff like that, just for female fitment. So I will reach out to this Tyndale company and get myself spun up on that. And thanks for that information. I appreciate it.
No problem. And I also, I can send you an email because I would love to connect you with our safety buyer as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that that input. Let's see if there are any other questions right now. Some comments. I like that. And there's a longer message in the chat here from Jim Ramos that everyone can read. I'm going to turn off the host for you now, Natasha, unless there are any other questions.
Yes, well, real quickly here, Nancy. Brian Hall with Shell. Hi, Natasha. excellent presentation. I tell you, you will short and sweet. I love the history. I love the why. And I love that you made it very clear who your competitors are and why they are where they are. But so thank you for that, and really very sharp. I'd like to steal some of your skills on that. I'm glad that Sibia, I think it was, that just asked those questions. I got two questions for you. One that you can choose to answer on this call, or I'll put my email in there. But the first one is manufacturing spaces. While I know that I don't know the ratio of females to males inside our chemicals and lubricants and manufacturing sites, I can only imagine, based on some of the information you've shared, is that they are probably making do with equipment that is done by others. So one question for you long term would be, have you considered being a presenter, not just from a procurement standpoint, but from an educational standpoint of how women in the workplace can benefit better from having, for not being distracted by their wear? Could be one of the topics, and subsequent to that, I think our HSSE folks could probably benefit from you just presenting on that level itself. So that's one question, and then the second question I'll ask you is simply, what is it that you, besides a potential agreements to buy your product, what else can this Novova network do to help you in the next 18 months?
Let's talk about the first question. So the first question is, okay, so my lawyer wants me to do that. My lawyer, she's like, you should become and not become, because you already have this, the background, the education, the experience to be she calls it a female fitment expert. And so that is not off the table. What I'm doing is offering that service on the GSA schedule. So that's something that will be offered on the GSA schedule within the next couple months. And yes, Brian, let's talk offline about that. As far as the network, I'm looking forward to spread the word about female fitment and how important it is that our warfighters especially have equipment to more functionally execute their jobs. And the reason that's important is because I'm just going to tell you a brief story. When I was a second lieutenant, I was stationed at Fort Bragg, Fort Bragg, home of the airborne, and we had a 12-mile ruck march. Me and my lieutenant buddy. So basically, they had this formula on how to protect your feet with these boots that don't fit. So you put Vaseline on your foot, you put nylon over the Vaseline, you put your OD green sock on, and then you put your foot in your boot to see if it moves. If it does not move, you're okay. If it does, put another sock on. I followed the directions of my non-commissioned officers. I did my 12-mile ruck march on time. I was fine. My second lieutenant buddy, Sarah, did not. She had blisters on her feet that took her out of commission, that took her out of her leadership position for a minimum of 2 months, because at Fort Bragg, you lead from the front. There's no really excuse on why you can't lead from the front. So subsequently, she left the unit, and we were in a very prestigious, very high level unit. And that took her out of the game of leadership. And that happens a lot in the military. So, because your performance, your physical prowess is closely connected to your performance. And that's why that's very important. So the network can, I'm looking for US manufacturing, which I have quasi-founded. So, but if you have anyone that is willing to work with a smaller company as far as US footwear manufacturing, please forward that information my way. And also I'm looking for an AAFES connection to get a buyer's meeting with AAFES. That would be wonderful. So those two direct items would be extremely helpful to my brand. I'm talking too much. I'm going to go.
You did an excellent job. Thank you, Natasha, for sharing those insights with us. I mean, you talk about things that we all take for granted and wouldn't have known if you hadn't kind of enlightened us. So great. That's what we love about our network here. You just never know what you're going to find. And it's always an exciting opportunity for our audience to learn. So I am going to say thanks, Natasha. You can stay on mute and do take a peek in the chat. Make sure you don't miss any other questions that may have been entered for you. And next, I'd like to introduce everyone to Rob Swain. He is with Swain Enterprises, LLC. And Rob, if you're unmuted, please take it away.
Hello, everybody. First, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to hear about my organization. And I also want to thank Navabo for giving me the opportunity to present in front of their members and their customers. Swain Enterprises, we make it happen. There we go. A little bit about me. I'm Robert Swain. I'm the president and CEO of Swain Enterprises. We are a service-able, veteran-owned small business. I started this company in 2020. However, even though we're 2 years old, I have over 20 years of construction experience. I was in the United States Army, part of the Army Corps Engineers. I did numerous projects in the United States and overseas locations, building buildings from the prepping the ground with the heavy equipment operation to erecting with the structural steel onto the finish out of the building. So from the planning to the end, I've done it. I hold an MBA from University of Wisconsin Whitewater. And one fun fact about me, I also played professional basketball in a European basketball league in Germany for years. Corporate overview. Swain Enterprises, we are a service-able, veteran-owned small business. We specialize in pre-construction and general contracting services in Virginia, Maryland, DC. We provide restoration, renovation projects. We have highly skilled tradesmen with specific technical skills, providing outstanding quality services for our projects. Some of those technical skills that we have are residential remodeling, structural steel, framing, roofing, drywall, painting, flooring, door hardware. So anything that got to do with a building, we do it, and we have the tradesmen to perform the tasks. Now, what makes us different? I outlined 4 things: technical resources, project management, quality control, and technical expertise. We have exceptional management and leadership of contract and technical specialists, tradesmen, ensuring quality workmanship. Our contractors are diversified in skill sets. We perform numerous types of services: on-call emergency, contractual, and standard. We like to blend innovative approaches and capabilities, making a quick turnaround to site visits, proposals, and excellent customer service skills. We have a saying, done right the first time. And so, you know, having the resources to keep up with the latest technologies, industry best practices, quality control to ensure compliance, and just having the right team in place to handle that particular construction contract. So my customer markets, my verticals I'm in currently: government, education, healthcare, detention, facilities management, multifamily, and military housing. Now, I have several of these qualification contracts. And what are those? See, usually a company or organization, they might put a bid out for a construction project and get 200 to 300 companies. That's bad for them because they don't know anything about those organizations. They're going off to the price, and they don't know if those organizations are good, bad, indifferent, or if they completed their projects on time, or they do change orders. So with this, as a company or organization, they might send out a bid for request for qualifications, and then myself and some other companies might respond to it. It's very detailed. They want to know your financial capabilities, your bonding capacity. What's the largest project you ever done? Your team. Have you done this before? It's 200 pages. Every time I submit one of these, 200 pages detailing your company. And then a committee selects the top 3 or the one. I have been selected for several. And for example, Old Dominion University, I'm pre-qualified. They called me up, say, hey, Swain, we have HVAC bid going out. We would like you to come take a look at it and give us a price. So they call me, they know me, I give them a price, and then I do the work. This ensures them that it's low risk because they already seen what my capabilities are. They know my company's great. We're bonded and our financials are strong to complete the project, and we have great references. So I won Old Dominion University, College of William and Mary, Virginia Institute of Marine Science, Baltimore City, and these below are the skills that we qualify for. Structural steel, framing and roofing, drywall, and etc. And so we can do anything for these organizations, and they know that. So they always call me because, like I said, I'm already vetted, and they know my organization. From my past performance, home renovations, replacing the flooring, electrical outlets, redesigning the whole dining room. Walter Reed National Medical Center, 1.2 million, still ongoing. Just installation of steel handrails, stairs, and other miscellaneous steel projects, and Arlington School District, 2.3 million for the installation of the door frames and all associated door hardware, just hanging doors, prepping doors, and making sure the school is safe. Why commercial? Swain Enterprises, we want to expand our footprint into new markets, bring value to our existing and new private customers. And we did a market like research, it's a need in this space for our services. We're not new to the commercial space. We have done some projects, Howard Hughes Medical Institute, the doors, the floors, the frames. So we do have some commercial contact, but we want to maybe expand and meet new people, partner, and figure out, how we can bridge the gap and take care of your pain points and do projects. Again, some of our customers we have now, like I mentioned before, and some of the customers I'm targeting. Some of my certifications I hold now: service-able veteran-owned small business, minority-owned business, and my newest one, Navabo. Also, we hold 3 Class A general contractors licenses in Virginia, Maryland, and DC. And what that means is Class A is the highest. So, you got to have the most experience. You have to prove it. You got to have the financials. And there's no threshold to what I can do. If the project's $1 on to 100 million, I can do it. Now, I might need some partners if it's 50 to 100 million, which I do have when those come up. But I hold 3 Class A general contractors licenses. Call to action. You look at my website. Maybe we can partner together with your organization to provide exceptional construction services to your organization. And again, here's my contact information. I'm at the top, my team, my website. And I just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you. And this.
Okay. Great job, Rob. I wanted to thank you especially for paying attention and clarifying what those pre-qualification contracts are all about. So for our corporate audience, Rob his business is experienced and ready to go. So we typically do see some requests from time to time from some of our East Coast corporate allies, and they can find your entire profile in the Navoba database if they're searching under construction or any of those keywords that appear in your profile. We're delighted to have you on board. Rob's one of our newer certified veteran-owned businesses. We met last fall at one of the veteran networking events in November. So welcome to you again, Rob. And we're let's just see if there are any questions. There's one in the chat for you, Robert. You're being asked to reach out to Jay Sheldon Wesley at Lumen, and his contact information is in the chat for you. Question again from someone else was, what is your service territory? Can you just expand on that one more time?
Yes, I'm in the Virginia, Maryland, DC area, but I can't, like I said, I have different partners, so I can expand to different states.
Okay.
It's not a problem. So if anybody have any questions about, like, can I do something in a particular state, I can look at it and reach out to my partners.
Terrific. Okay. Any other questions for Rob? Okay. Let me just make a switch here to bring up Larry. Our final presenter today is going to be Larry Carrell, and I'm making you co-host right now, Larry, so if you can share your screen and get ready to present your capabilities.
Excellent. You guys should be able to see me now, correct?
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. My name is Larry Carrell, Army veteran, and like Natasha, fellow paratrooper. So go airborne. Mr. Hall, I recognize you. We've spoken several times over the past few years for one of my other companies. So thanks for being on. So today we're talking about coffee, this wonderful stuff that everybody likes to drink, right? 83% of Americans drink it at least once a day, multi-billion-dollar industry. So decided to fuel my addiction. And so one of my friends is a retired Air Force pilot. I'm retired Army. So we meshed very well. We're both pilots. We both love coffee. So we decided to start a coffee company. So we started Rugged Pilot Coffee and the Coffee Peddlers. So about 4 years ago, we started the Coffee Peddlers. We've grown that into 6 states via franchise program, and I'll share that on screen. So this is our original coffee bite that we franchised and decided to take it to veterans and disabled veterans who may not otherwise have an opportunity in corporate America due to their service-connected disabilities, or otherwise wanted to have a full-time income with a part-time job. So we've vertically integrated the company. We have a FedEx shipping center that we own. We now own a farm in Costa Rica where we grow coffee. And we also own the roastery, the packaging facility, and the printing company to print the packaging. So everything is a nice vertical integration. We do everything in-house. So start to finish, we can custom label and white label coffees for our customers, usually within 24 to 48 hours. And that includes custom blends, custom labeling, et cetera. So one of the newest things we just did, and we're excited about this because we just started labeling our new ones for Rugged Pilot. We just started doing K-Cups. So we've been selling these in airport terminals and fixed bases of operations under our Rugged Pilot brand. And some hotels, smaller boutique hotels and hospitality industry, we've been providing the Keurig or the K-Cup machine, as well as the custom branded K-Cups for their rooms. One of our customers is a large chain that we're not allowed to say who they are, but I can say that they're in Vegas, New Orleans, New Jersey, and a couple of other locations, Michigan, et cetera. So, and they do work with us because we are a disabled veteran-owned company as well. More than that, they like the coffee. So whether you're looking for custom packaging, labeled coffee, whether it's for an employee cafe or executive gifts, or if you're a retail or hospitality chain, that's what we're looking for. That's who we want to partner with. It's imperative that we continue to support our fellow veterans. So we also franchise this and employ veterans. The other thing we're doing, again, back to the custom labeling, we work with nonprofit organizations on both companies. So whether it's a golf course or Girls in Aviation or the Patriot Light Roast for the PGA Hope, which is helping our Patriots excel, we've partnered with them to donate a portion of every purchase back to their organization to help promote free golf lessons with golf pros for veterans and disabled veterans. The custom labeling, as you can see, we can do anything and everything from fractional packs for restaurants and hotel chains, all the way up through private label coffees, as well as K-Cups. They're excellent for giveaways, promotional products. Matter of fact, I saw Matt on here. I think we did some for Novova. So it's awesome. We can typically turn that stuff pretty quickly. So if you have a last minute need as well for a promotional product, we can help you there as well. Coffee is a very saturated industry. Let's be very honest. So our goal, our differentiator is time. If you go to another co-packer, they're going to tell you it's 2 to 4 weeks to go through the development process. With us, it's 24 hours. We're done. We're ready to go. And that's because of that vertical integration. I have a team of 38 veterans and disabled veterans here. Now 100% of our employees are veterans or disabled veterans. Not that we won't hire non-veterans, we do. It just happens to be that we're in a very veteran-centric town here, and we have a lot of them here. A lot of them also happen to be pilots because we have Embry-Riddle Aviation, or the flight school 100 feet that way. So we also do that. The franchise piece, which are the coffee bites, Those are excellent for corporate America. If you have different campuses and you want to promote your brand at corporate events or outings, outreach events, et cetera, it's a great way to brand it. We're bringing on a new franchise next month on the 24th of February. We'll have our first one in San Antonio, Texas. So that's the first one outside of the Southwest region. We currently have Colorado, California, and Arizona under franchise, and we're continuing to grow. So my ask today is if anybody knows anybody who's interested in coffee or coffee franchises, we would be interested in talking to them about their opportunity that we offer for their own home base or part-time business that can generate full-time income. We have patented our bikes, which are here. So we now have these manufactured here in America with US sourced materials when possible. They're fully health department approved. And of course, now there's nothing to show. So we can do that. And let me go back over here for you. Our newest coffee bikes are right here. And we've also partnered with VetFran to make sure that we're helping our fellow veterans. Again, because we own the printing and packaging company, we own the farm in Costa Rica now, and we'll be pulling our first harvest in April. We'll start selling our own coffees, shipping them to ourselves, roasting them, packaging them, creating the labels, and shipping them out of our own FedEx ship centers. So everything in-house. We're USDA and FDA certified interstate food processing facility. We're building a new 24,000 square foot facility behind our building here with new roasters, new packaging equipment, and so on. Now I need to feed that business to of course, pay for the land and so on. Our ask is anybody who's interested in coffee, give us a try, check us out. I think you'll like the product. And if it's something that you would be interested in as a promotional product, corporate outreach, or executive gift item, we can develop that label pretty quickly. Any questions?
Very impressive. I think I have a raised hand here from, let's see, Darnell, maybe? It just blinked off.
Yeah, this is Darnell
Yeah, thanks, Darnell.
with Cisco. Hey, Larry, how are you?
Doing well yourself?
Great presentation. Question on the new facility. You mentioned 24,000 square feet. What would be the capacity of the new facility?
So I'll answer our current capacity now. Our current capacity is about 400 to 500 bags a day, and that doesn't include fractional packaging. So pre-portioned for coffee makers or K-cups, et cetera. So that's aside. So we typically look at our capacity and our output capacity by number of 12-ounce bags. And typically it's between 400 and 500 a day currently with current staffing and space. I expect to triple that to 1,500 at a minimum, and adding a second shift and or adding an extra day per week as we get busy. It's part of my overall plan to, which is all right here, the master plan to continue to create capacity as we grow. And that doesn't include this current building. We can always turn this building back up and continue to use it as necessary. My plan is to turn it into storage and a retail center where we can actually have customers come visit our retail shop, have a cup of coffee here, sit down, watch all the airplanes take off and land on this runway out here. So to answer your question, within 3 months, 4 months, we should be at approximately 2,000 bags per day, and I can grow it from there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Hey, Larry, there's another question for you in the chat. It said, are the kiosk, I think that means the bike, available for in-booth trade shows or events?
Absolutely. And Jim, I'm looking at that. If you'd like to email me directly, it's just Larry at BDPUSA. So that's Larry at LARRY at Bravo Delta Papa USA.com. And I can send you additional information. Depending on where you're at, I may or may not have a franchisee close by. We do have one potentially coming up in Orlando, Florida, and another one that may be coming on the books in, I cannot remember, Meriden, something in Connecticut, small town outside Stanford. So they've got a letter of intent to us. So we should have a couple of East Coast and Southeast locations soon as well. Worst case for trade shows and trade booths, we can always send you product that you could utilize as giveaway items. A lot of what we do are coffee tea bag, proprietary to us. And we also do what's called a pilot pouch. It's a pour over coffee for the coffee snobs like myself who like super fresh stuff. But these are simple. That just says coffee bomb on it. We can actually put your label, and it's the tea bag. You can make hot or cold coffee out of it, and it's single serve, weighs half an ounce. Very simple, excellent for point of purchase displays and impulse purchases in retail facilities as well. We sell a lot to smaller bakeries and convenience stores.
Awesome.
I see, Mr. Fields, you've asked about Goodwill Industries. Excellent idea, and I will definitely research that. We have a Goodwill headquarters in Phoenix, so I know right where they're at, and I know exactly who to contact there. That would be a good idea. I never thought of that.
Great, that's great. Isn't it awesome how our network is supporting each other? Thank you, Ken. That was a great suggestion. Any other questions for Larry? Is that you, Brian?
Yeah, sorry. Trying not to interrupt you. Sorry. Larry, well done. And then back to Rob on Swain Enterprises. I'm going to drop you an email. I know you mentioned real quickly back to Rob, you mentioned that and I hear this often from entrepreneurs, particularly those that are in a service space, that, hey, we'll go wherever you need us to go. And I go, well, that could be a lot of places, particularly if you're looking at the next 15 to 18 or maybe 24 months. So I would ask you the question of, where are your target areas for growth and the state? And you don't have to answer that now. I'll just put it in the email. But I think it's important for us that are going to advocate or even try and take another step forward with you or on your behalf. Giving us some guidance helps us, as well as saying, it probably helps us more than hey, I can go anywhere, because that's. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying like the target, because like a lot of businesses here. So like I'm not going DC, Virginia, Maryland. Those are my areas right there. Now, if it's like North Carolina, South Carolina, I can make it to there because it's close. But the target areas for growth, federal, state, commercial, are right here in these three territories. And
I think you have to make that clear when you got these advocates online, because that's how we can best help you. Is it may not be something we can do with you, but we might be able to deeper connect you even in that community. But yeah, don't be shy to be clear on what you would do if you could do it tomorrow versus hey, the pie in the sky, because there's a lot of VBEs out there, and probably a lot of them more in construction that are in Houston, for example. So that may not be where you would want to go if that's not your strongest suit. But just feedback. Real quick, I think, and I appreciate the connection to Goodwill. For VBEs, and particularly if you have a service, and then particularly like you just mentioned, Larry, where there's an opportunity for someone to go into a business, if you will, with you. And to me, the first thing I thought about was creating wealth. Not all veterans are created equal. There are some that are struggling, that could be struggling with just making ends meet, right? And so, how do we help create wealth in the communities and the spaces by which they just need an opportunity, right? And they may not be able to own a big business, a big construction business, right? But this could be a really lift up for them. And I think companies like ours are trying to partner with organizations that do that well, but bring perhaps the supply chain community to it. So I love that. That's an extra connection. And my question would be, or the clarity that I would want is that if the cycle, the kiosk cycle, awesome, good looking, someone else said it was very good looking. It was very attractive. I mean, I'd buy coffee from that little cart because, it just looks good. I guess I want to talk more, and not on this call because everyone's going, it's time to go, but I would want to understand even further, how can we start a conversation now with kind of the corporate community, including a Goodwill, where you can go yourself to the local, but if we could talk about it for how do we look at this as a potential opportunity for corporations to support veterans taking advantage of resources like yours to build their income, could be another angle that you could do with your model here. And so I hope that made sense to some extent, but you've got my email and maybe we can talk more about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. And on that note, Brian, and for everybody out there in corporate America, 2 years ago, pre-COVID, we did partner with Rocky Blyer. Most of you guys know Rocky. We did I'm going to reshare my screen real quick just so I can show you briefly. We did a nice 6-pack of coffee labels, if I can find them here. And there you go. We did Rocky's coffee labels, and so we did a 6-pack of coffee. We did it for his charitable foundation. It included a copy of his book, and all of the labels were autographed. So we did that for him to help people in his area. And then as a franchisor, we also gave away a franchise to a disabled veteran in Greeley, Colorado, in conjunction with Rocky. So it was pretty cool. That gentleman has now gone on to buy 2 more, and he's employed 2 more veterans in his area. So the growth is exponential, and really the focus is on the franchise piece. The coffee is really secondary.
Good success story. Thank you, Larry. Great feedback and good questions from all of our corporate allies here. Please, all the veterans, take a look in the chat and make a note of the corporate portals that have been listed here. If you're not already registered in Cisco or Disney's, there's a link for their registration portals. You please take advantage of that opportunity. Let's open up and see if there are any other questions for any of our presenters today.
Yeah, hi, this is Jim Ramos with Wasaya Beck, and it's nice to join everybody. And this is actually Larry and also Natasha. So people in my experience have had the opportunity to work in different places in terms of market and understanding. So you know, in the case of Natasha Afis, I've had the opportunity to work there in the past. Now, while not in a category, I know people that still do business in that space. So as I sent you a private note, I'll do what I can to reach out to that buyer in that space. And then some other people in the apparel side that has either contracts, you know, that provide, you know, clothing and boots and stuff in DOD. And then Larry, I go back to working all these military police trade shows and seeing Black Rifle Coffee everywhere and how they started. So that's where, you know, I'll be at Suffolk and just got back from SHOT Show and some other stuff from my past experience. So, you know, those are nice things, and I understand what I can do. I'd love to pass on your information. And I think the idea of your little kiosk in a booth to introduce a product, I'd love to work with some of my clients, because I think it would get some good traction for you. And I think that military police world, again, I just see where Black Rifle Coffee has gone from the owner starting in a little tiny tabletop booth years ago, and now it's grown into a fantastic business. So I think you'll find there's a lot of experienced people that even if we're not in that space today, we know other people. So it's just great to be part of this, and look forward to help support any of the veteran-owned businesses that are out there, because number one, thanks for your service. And number two, as Brian talked about building a business, you know, that's how we pay employees, we pay our taxes, we give them health care. So kudos to all you veteran-owned businesses to put your you-know-what on the line again, to build a company and employ you know, people across the country. So thanks, and just really enjoyed being on the call today. Thanks for inviting me in.
Great, thank you. All right, well, thank you, everyone. We have about 10 minutes left, and before we just say goodbye, I would like to open up and see if any corporations have anything else that they'd like to either announce or share with this audience today before we let you continue with your Monday. Anybody have anything they'd like to add?
I have one short thing.
Okay.
We at APS launched our diverse supplier training program online. This used to be an in-person program, but you know, now we're all working from home right now. So I can put a link in the chat to it if you can help us promote, because this is going to show a new supplier how to register with us, what we're looking for. And it's just going to make that process for a new supplier to work with APS that much easier.
Great. Thank you for that, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Do you see that post in the chat, Mimi? I'm looking for it. While we're doing that, let's just see if Matt or
Sorry, I was
Mimi
on
has
mute.
anything else they would like to add.
Well, thank you, Nancy. I did want to thank everybody for presenting and joining us today. This is the whole goal of this is to help these veteran businesses be competitive and ultimately land some business. And so the corporations that are here today, that's just indicative of your company's true desire to be inclusive of veterans in your supplier programs. And to the veterans that presented, thank you for emphasizing the value that your company provides. I think that's very important. So we understand, because none of this is charity. This is all something that's being done for the right reasons and for a core group of people. But you've done a great job to make sure that this is about providing value to your customers, and I appreciate that. One thought on, Jim, you brought up Black Rifle Coffee, and I don't know if you knew this, Larry, you probably do, but their IPO is going to go live this month, I think, or next month. So that company that started at nothing was valuated, what, at $1.8 billion was the valuation?
1.7 billion, and the 4 founders are keeping 20%. So yeah, they got a $564 million payday after 8 years. So it's not a bad industry to be in.
It's interesting for us though, because we've reached out to them over the years and said we'd like to get them certified because, you know, it's a very recognizable brand, and we want to normalize the behavior of veteran-owned companies getting certified as such, like other communities do. They've not really responded to that, but clearly with an IPO, they're not going to have the ability to say they're a veteran-owned company any longer, because they'll be 20% minority owners collectively, even if all 4 of them are veterans. So that does create an opportunity in that space if the veteran ownership is critical for that customer relationship. So something to keep in mind there. And it may not be directly relatable to Natasha, but and you, Larry, for sure. The certified veteran-owned logo, or the veteran-owned logo for product packaging, we definitely want to see that out there and in the marketplace. And we've seen, for any of you that are, thank you very much, Larry, for those of you that are interested in retail, there have been like a spate of companies recently. We're working with Range Me, which is another organization, but Walgreens has a supplier event coming up in April, and Meyer has another event. And so there's a lot of corporations that are trying to be inclusive of more diverse suppliers in there and having certified veteran-owned companies. There was another one too. We're going to share some information about opportunities that you can attend. And the one for Walgreens is virtual. Some of them are invitation only, but in either case, there's opportunities that are out there to get your products in front. And we know that there's a lot more veteran companies that are providing products to retailers. We just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that, because people like vets, they want to support vets, and that they know that they're buying products that are provided by vets. I think that's a win for everybody. So stay tuned for all of that information. And thank you again for everybody that's joined us today. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Nancy. Great job too.
Ditto. Thank you, everyone. And we really appreciate your continued support for Novoba on both the corporate and the veteran-owned business side. We couldn't be doing what we do without you all participating and being so actively engaged. So thank you very much. See you again next Monday.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.